Welcome back to the Ross Bolin podcast presented by Bolin Media. I am Ross Bolin here with Kooky Kade Orris. Kade, how are you?
Doing all right. Had my first paddleboard session of the summer on Saturday, so that was exciting stuff.
Yeah, have you ever been before?
Yeah, I've been a couple times.
You enjoy
a few
the
times last year.
paddleboarding?
Absolutely not. No, not really.
Yeah.
Because, like we go to this big area where a bunch of people gather and, drink and stuff and party. But getting there is the pain in the ass when you actually have to paddleboard. So I don't really like the actual paddleboarding all that much.
You just like to party.
I just like to party and get drunk on the lake.
So what people, if I'm not mistaken, and I think I remember seeing you put up a picture on your Instagram stories, people paddle out there on their board.
Yep.
And if you don't know what a paddleboard is, a stand-up paddleboard, it's basically a surfboard.
Yeah.
A large, thick surfboard. And you stand on it, and you take a row.
Or you get on your knees.
Or you get on your knees.
Which is what I do.
If you're a bitch about it, you get on your knees. And you take a canoe row, like you would row in a canoe with.
A paddle.
A paddle. And
Yep.
And then you paddle your ass out, and so then all these people do that, and they get in a big group where they float together, and they put all their boards together.
Yeah, and in the area we go to, you can just stand in the water,
so
it's very shallow. Yeah, so we're not just chilling on the paddle boards the entire time.
Get off in that nasty ass water.
Yeah, yeah, it's real,
real good. And then you get
water.
drunk.
Yep.
And then you paddle back where you came from.
Exactly.
It's really riveting stuff.
It's fun stuff.
I've only been paddleboarding once, and I've told this story, but I'll tell it again. I did it in the Cayman Islands on Grand Cayman, so it was in the ocean, and it was a living hell because you're fighting against the current the whole time. It was so exhausting. After 10 minutes, I was like, all right, I'm fucking done here. This is
that's
awful.
the thing about it. It's just it's so exhausting, getting there, and this the trip back also sucks too, and you're drunk while you're doing it too, so it doesn't make
even
it
lazier.
Better. Yeah.
It's a good little workout, though.
It is. It's a good workout, and then you get I have to pump up the board as well.
Oh, you have one of the inflatable ones?
Yeah, I feel like they're all inflatable.
Really?
Or most of them are.
I wonder if that's a new wave.
Yeah, I don't know, but my buddy, I use his. He has an extra one, and he has an electric pump, so he just does it for him, so he doesn't do shit. But I had the shitty one that pump up manually.
Oh man!
So that's a real workout.
What a burden!
I know. And then you got to paddle all the way out there. It is a bit of a workout, and I really wasn't a big fan of that. So, but
sounds like you had fun out there, though.
Yeah, it's always a good time beyond in that dirty ass water.
Get in the sun.
Get some vitamin D. Good stuff. But yeah, how are you? You kind of sound like shit right now.
Yeah, I've had a cold for a full week now because these little baby colds that my son infects me with are somehow the most brutal and lengthy colds I've ever experienced. So I apologize for sounding like a dying old man today. I'm on day 5 of taking Dayquil during the day and NyQuil at night.
Have you ever flipped it before? Tried NyQuil during the day and Dayquil at night?
I don't know that it would even affect me that much.
Yeah. Because when you take NyQuil, it's supposed to help you fall asleep, right? That's one of the...
You get the idea, is that you get more comfortable sleep, But last night, I just laid there for 2.5 hours. Couldn't fall asleep.
Even with the NyQuil?
No.
Nothing.
I'm telling you. It's weird because most drugs, I'm really sensitive to them. It doesn't take much to make me feel that shit.
Yeah.
For some reason, the NyQuil, man, it's not doing it for me. I'm taking the extra strength crackhead Dayquil.
Okay.
And that's kind of helping a little. But today I sound worse than yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand how that's even fucking possible. I'm not joking. This is day 7.
You sound like shit yesterday too, and you recorded OCC, and after you did the intro and the ad read for it.
Yeah.
And I fucked up a little bit because I didn't press record on the camera.
Oh yeah, that screwed me. Because before the show, I was gargling salt water.
Yeah.
And blowing my nose repeatedly, cleared my whole head out so that I could do the full show. But then when I had to redo part of it because you didn't hit record on the camera, I was screwed.
Yeah, and you got through it in one take, when you did it immediately after, and then I get the memory card from the camera. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't think I hit record on this. Then I'm like,
Not good timing.
I'm
Not
like,
a
you have
good
to do
day
it
for that
again.
to happen.
And then it took you like 15 minutes. I could hear you like coughing like in between.
I was dying in here, dude. I was
like,
dying in here.
I was like, I felt so bad.
I had
I'm
to
like,
restart like 5 times.
I fucked up so bad. I felt like I was like, God damn it.
But this is like the only version of sick I ever get anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't get stomach bugs or headaches or fever. I just get awful head colds, which is the worst version of sick for what I do for a living. Like if I was, shooting water out of my ass, like no one listening to the show today would have any idea.
No.
They wouldn't be able to tell unless I put the microphone to my ass. But this is like everyone knows something's very wrong.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's kind of sexy though. A little sexy podcast voice.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's irritating to have to listen to somebody with a cold talk, but
maybe if you're just
I'm
like
wrong.
coughing in the mic.
Maybe it's just more sultry.
yeah.
I did that whole episode yesterday without coughing or sneezing a single time, and I'm gonna see if I can get through today as well. Barrett even coughed once,
Wow.
but I was clean, man. I
do I need to
was so
sanitize this
impressed.
mic then,
That
or-
was like my Jordan flu game.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
No, you did a lot. You literally broke
was
down
amazing.
the entire season 1 of House of the Dragon. Every episode.
I was very impressed with myself.
Oh, yeah,
but
you were locked in. That was your flu game, actually.
It was. Regardless of my physical health, we are not going to let that stop us from celebrating the first episode of this Chicken Leg Pride Month 2024. For those of you who may be new here, since 2018, this podcast has used the month of June to promote Chicken Leg Pride. Because this is Pride Month, after all, and Chicken Leg Pride falls into the larger bucket of pride, as far as I'm concerned. Happy Pride Month, by the way, to all who celebrate, but also Happy Chicken Leg Pride Month. They're both worthy causes. What, Kade?
None.
You just went like
Yeah.
you were going to talk, but then
No.
you got nothing to say.
I got nothing to say.
Good,
yeah.
I'm glad I stopped for that.
Yeah.
My entire life, when people have seen me in shorts, they say things like, wow, your legs are really skinny. Or, holy shit, you have twig legs. And they ask questions like, how do your legs hold up your body weight? Or, have you ever done leg day even once? And these are the kind of statements and insults that people with chicken legs like me deal with throughout their lives. It's actually outrageous how for some reason people wouldn't ask you, like, what's wrong with your face? You know what I mean? Like, people have common courtesy. They know not to say rude, mean things about each other's appearance for the most part. But for some reason, when it comes to having chicken legs, people don't think it will like hurt your feelings or your self-esteem in any way.
But it does.
And they point it out, and it's bizarre.
Are you still getting these insults thrown at you like to this day?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not joking. Like this is.
Is this why you like don't go outside as much?
This is my whole life. No, that's more of like I'm in my mid-30s and have small children. But
Okay.
I go outside quite a bit, just not very far away from my house. The amount of comments like that I've gotten over the course of my life would blow people who don't have chicken legs minds. It is so weird how comfortable people are being like, holy shit, you have really skinny legs. And I'm like, yeah, that's correct. Thank you. I'm aware. But eventually, especially as my peers began developing what are known as dad legs, you know what dad legs are, Kade?
No, I'm assuming you get them
They're
when
just
you're a dad.
Thick trunks.
Yeah. It's
You
like
know?
you evolve and your legs just grow just because you're a dad now.
It's a component of dad bod.
Yeah.
But it can come like in a more intense version than the rest of your dad bod body.
Your dad bod body.
Your dad bod body. But I've come to appreciate my chicken legs, even learning to have pride in my chicken legs. And so Chicken Leg Pride Month was born, and we celebrate it every June because typically June is when it gets hot as shit and people are wearing shorts more and going to the pool in their swimsuits. So the chicken legs are, out and about.
See, I feel like I'm not really looking at people's legs and like judging them for like how big or small they are.
When
But
you
like,
see somebody with chicken legs, you don't notice?
no, because I'm not like just like pointing it out. I don't care that you have chicken legs. I care, but like not in like
You don't care?
I care. No, I'm with you guys and the fact that like I stand with the people who have chicken legs.
Oh, you're an
but
ally?
I'm an ally. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
But like I don't like really like notice it like because it's not like on my mind. It's like, oh my god, that guy has really skinny legs.
Dude,
like,
even I
should-
notice when I see a fellow chicken leg haver, I'm like,
Well, I think I need to
look at this
start
fucking guy.
paying more attention because I'm at the pool, at the lake a lot.
Yeah.
And I need to like see what kind of legs these people are rocking now, and so I can shame them for having chicken legs, or I guess not because I'm an ally, but
Well, yeah, no, you're confusing.
I need to point them out and be like, hey, buddy, I stand with you. If anyone gives you shit for your
Let
legs,
me know.
let me know. I'll take care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, June is Chicken Leg Pride Month. Chicken Leg Nation, stand up and stand tall with pride because our legs are beautiful too, and we deserve love just like everyone else. And now it's time for an insane headline of the day, and I am stoked on this one. Remote Amazon tribe connects to Elon Musk's Starlink internet, becomes hooked on porn and social media. How many times have I said it? We should have stopped with electricity. The internet is pure evil, even though it has funded and made my entire career possible. The internet, I believe, is like eroding the fabric of humanity. And this is like maybe the best example ever. So listen to some of this story from the New York Post. A reclusive tribe in the Amazon finally got hooked up to the internet thanks to Elon Musk, only to be torn apart by social media and pornography addiction, the elders complain. Brazil's 2,000-member Marubo tribe has been left bitterly divided by the arrival of Tesla founders' Starlink service 9 months ago, which connected the remote rainforest community along the Itui River to the web for the first time. So you've heard of Starlink, right?
I'm not.
Starlink is Elon Musk's like satellite company that, for example, like when Russia invaded Ukraine and they were like bombing out cities or doing whatever, Starlink was providing internet to Ukraine for a little while. So it was like, I don't know if they're still doing that, which is why I say a little while. It was a big story, like an international story. Anyway, they basically have the ability with Starlink to put the internet anywhere. So you don't need all the Ethernet cords and wiring. You don't need Google Fiber or AT&T to come out and like hook up your modem.
So you can place in like more like remote.
Very
places.
Very remote locations, like this random tribe in the middle of the Amazon.
And all it took was 9 months for the internet to destroy this village.
Yeah, that was it. 9 months. So it's like, it's funny because I've always talked about how, you know, the internet became a big deal when I was probably like 12 or something, and over the 24 years since then, like look at where we're at. I mean, it's a shit show online. Everything on the internet is a total and utter mess. It did not take long for it to devolve into just madness. And this is like a weird microcosm of that whole experience because it's this Amazonian tribe that in 9 months all became porn addicts and social media addicts. So one of the elders of this tribe, 73-year-old Sainama Marubo, told the New York Times, when it arrived, everyone was happy. But now, things have gotten worse. Young people have gotten lazy because of the internet. They're learning the ways of the white people. God. I will say, that does feel a tad bit racist and insulting. It's not just the whites that have absolutely lost our minds because of the internet, although we probably have done it to a larger degree than most of the races, I guess. But it's everybody. Everybody who has internet access is a disaster. Not just the whites, but I guess they, felt like aiming it at us. So the Marubo are a chaste tribe who even frown upon kissing in public. But Alfredo Marubo, all Marubo use the same last name. You'll pick up on that,
yeah.
Said he is anxious that the arrival of the service, which delivers super fast internet to far-flung corners of the planet, has been billed as a game changer by Elon Musk, could upend standards of decorum. Alfredo said, many young Marubo men have been sharing porn videos in group chats, and he has already observed more aggressive sexual behavior in some of them. So 9 months, and they've got group chats going where they're sharing their favorite porn videos
You're
of the day.
You and boys don't share your favorite porn videos in the group chat?
Actually, oddly, and like I don't know if this is unusual or not, but like I've never been in none of my groups of friends have ever been like, yo, you've got to check out this porn.
Oh, well, you guys were watching pterodactyl porn back in the day.
Except for pterodactyl porn in like late middle school, early high school.
That's just because it was
that was
funny.
more because of the entertainment value. Nobody was ever like, you've got to crank to this. Like, I just cranked so hard to this video. It was so great. You've got to crank to it. That I never had that experience, but it does sound like that's a thing that actually occurs sometimes, especially in the Amazon. So he continued, quote, we're worried young people are going to want to try it. he said of the kinky sex acts they've suddenly been exposed to on screen. Everyone is so connected that sometimes they don't even talk to their own family, is another quote. So they're just, everyone's just walking around on iPhones,
Just
staring at their
watching porn.
screens, watching fucking
Sorry, Bob, I
hardcore,
can't talk to you right now. Watching a girl
hardcore
get
pornography
packed right now.
and pterodactyl porn and ignoring their families. It says Starlink works by connecting antennas to 6,000 low-orbiting satellites. The necessary antennas were donated to the tribe by American entrepreneur Allison Renew, who destroyed this entire community by trying to be a white savior. So I don't even know if she's white. I'm just kidding. But so it does sound like you have to have some type of equipment. You have to have the antennas to receive the signal from these Starlink satellites. So it's not like they could just like beam the internet anywhere. You've got to have the antennas, but they got donated. So it says initially the internet was heralded as a positive for the remote tribe, who were able to quickly contact authorities for help with emergencies, including potentially deadly snake bites. So that was the idea.
Yep.
They deal with medical issues on occasion, including deadly snake bites, and maybe if we give them the internet, more people will survive deadly snake bites because they can contact the authorities rapidly. But instead, everyone is gooning 24/7. They've just become a tribe of goonsmen. It says Inoke Marubo, 40 years old, stated, it has already saved lives. So that's good. It has saved some lives. It's also just ruined the rest of the lives that are there. Members are also able to share educational resources with other Amazonian tribes and connect with friends and family who now live elsewhere. It has also opened up a world of possibilities for young Marubo, some of whom have been unable to conceptualize what lies beyond their immediate surroundings. And these are all the same reasons that initially everybody thought the internet would be dope. You can connect with anywhere in the world. You can learn about anything instantaneously. It's an encyclopedia at your fingertips. You used to have to go to the fucking library and look up a book on like Amazonian tribes, for example, if you wanted to learn about the Amazonian tribes.
Or what to do if you have a deadly snake bite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You had to go read a book to learn these things, but suddenly the world was at our fingertips, and it was this huge selling point that made it pretty clear cut for the first 5-10 years or so that the internet was a huge advancement for humankind. But then we started to realize all the downside. And now, to me, as somebody who has worked their entire career online for 13 years now, it feels like the downside far outweighs the upside. Like these people were perfectly happy before. Now they're getting DPDA, porn constantly streamed to them, and they just didn't need that. So yes, it opens up a world of possibilities, but at the same time, it opens up a world of bad possibilities. One teen told The Times that she now dreams of traveling the world, while another says she aspires to become a dentist in Sao Paulo.
Did they interview any of the people that just like are just cranking
Just
nonstop?
gooning?
Yeah.
However, Inoke also complained of the significant downsides. Quote, it changed the routine so much that it was detrimental. In the village, if you don't hunt, fish, and plant, you don't eat. So if you're just gooning all day online and sharing your favorite anal videos with your friends, nobody's fishing, nobody's hunting. There's not going to be any food.
Everyone's going to starve.
They're all
hungry,
going to die because they're just jacking it all day. And Tamse Marubo, a 42-year-old, said some young people maintain our traditions. Others just want to spend the whole afternoon on their phones. Sounds like a problem that we have
Damn,
here.
they just like us for real.
In Western culture, yeah. Tribes people became so addicted that Marubo leaders, fearing that history and culture, which is passed down orally, could be lost forever, they have now limited access to the internet. Here are the limitations they placed for the tribe. 2 hours each morning, 5 hours each evening, and all day Sunday. That's when you can access the internet.
Still feels like a lot though. That's 7 hours a day, and then like all Sunday. Like I don't even.
That's a fuckload of internet time.
I don't even average like 7 hours of like screen time on mine.
That's 2 hours per morning. That's like the bulk of the morning.
You can get a lot of cranking done in those 2 hours.
Fucking 5 hours in the evening? The whole evening?
Yeah, essentially
That's
the whole evening.
And then the whole Sunday? The Lord's Day? What the fuck? It says, but parents still worry that the damage may already be done. Oh, it has. Trust me, Marubo. It has. Another father, Kaipa Marubo, said he's anxious about his children playing violent first-person shooter games. So they're already there. They're already on first-person shooters. They're going to be playing fucking Grand Theft Auto 5 before you know it. It's over for them. They don't know it yet, but it's over for them. They're starting to get the picture that it's over for them, but it's over for them.
And I love how, like, Elon and whoever this other person that donated the satellites are like, know what this village needs? The internet, not like food or water. Just
a hospital.
Anything to, like,
irrigation,
help their civilization.
Indoor plumbing.
Yeah, the internet, that'll do it.
Well, I guess the argument is that if you give them the internet, maybe it makes it easier to advance in all these other ways. But, like, look, this is part of the deal. Remember when we learned about Sentinel Island, that remote island where there's like a tribe living on it, and if anybody goes to the island, they kill you?
Yeah.
They don't want outside influence. They don't want things that we see as advancements. They just want to live their lifestyle the way that it is. Like, if you pump the internet into Sentinel Island, the same thing is going to happen as happened here. Everybody's just going to end up gooning, and no one's going to be hunting or fishing or passing down their oral history, or it's just going to devolve into a deviant society of video game addicts, which is like, we've got that here, you know?
I mean, we've seen the results of what happened.
Do we need to spread that everywhere? Do we? Do we really? So, Godspeed to the Marubo people, because it's an ugly downhill slope.
Yeah, no, they might be fucked now.
Before you know it, the Marubo are going to be sharing their Caitlin Clark takes on Twitter. We're only a couple weeks away from that. So, we'll see how that goes. We may be celebrating Chicken Leg Pride Month, but if we're being honest, because of my workout regimen powered by Fitbod, my chicken legs are a bit less chickeny than they once were. When I'm working out, there are a few essentials I absolutely must have. My headphones for music, my water bottle with my supplements mixed in that hoe, and my Fitbod app on my phone. Today's episode is brought to you by Fitbod. Fitbod is a fitness app that creates completely personalized workouts that adapt as you improve. Whether you are a seasoned gym goer or just starting your fitness journey, the essential your workout really needs is Fitbod. It's a fitness app that customizes each workout based on your goals and adapts as you improve. It's like having your own personal trainer, but better. It's cheaper. You can work out anywhere with or without equipment. It's easy to build a custom fitness plan that works for you. Also, it doesn't yell at you, sweat on you, or give you awkward motivational speeches when you're just trying to get some fitness in. I've been using the Fitbod app for over a year now. It's legitimately awesome. I have done 176 Fitbod workouts to be exact. Before I started using Fitbod, I did the exact same workouts every time I worked out for years, and that mundane repetition wasn't really doing shit for my body. I plateaued hard. Since I started using Fitbod, though, I've transformed my body, and at 36 years old, I can honestly say I'm in the best shape of my life. Completely avoided dad bod so far, which is huge. Fitbod is the future. It has everything you wish those other apps had. It's honestly been one of the most positive additions I've ever made to my life. Maybe my favorite sponsor this show has ever had. Fitbod is an essential part of my life. No exaggeration. Like I said, it adapts as I progress, and because it lets me rate each exercise within my workout, it learns how difficult or easy it was for me and adjusts accordingly. Lets me set a goal. 4 workouts per week is my personal goal. Helps me hold myself accountable to my fitness journey. And if you're thinking, Ross, I don't know how to do any of these workouts, don't worry. That doesn't matter, because with each lift or movement it gives you to do, Fitbod also provides multiple videos for you to watch from different angles to see exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And on top of that, they provide a text description of each movement, so you're never lost. You can literally read exactly what you're supposed to be doing and watch someone else do it. Add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription, or try the app free at fitbod.me/Ross. That's fitbod.me/ROSS. So I mentioned Caitlin Clark.
You did?
I want to talk about this a little.
Oh boy, right? We're going there.
It has been less than a month since women's basketball phenom Caitlin Clark made her WNBA debut, and it has been pretty much nonstop drama since her first game on May 14th. Okay, she's on the Indiana Fever.
Sir, go Fever.
In your home state, this is your WNBA team, making $76,535 this season, which I want to start there. Because the second it became public knowledge, like how much is Caitlin Clark getting paid? First of all, she probably makes,
she makes so much off
20 times this on endorsements.
Yeah.
Right.
Like she has one with Nike and Wilson, I think. So
Yeah.
she's doing all right there still.
But $76,000 for playing in the WNBA, okay? I need to be clear about this. Comparing her salary to NBA players and getting upset about it is insane. I will make it into a self-deprecating analogy for people. That's like comparing Kade's salary at Bolin Media to a producer at Disney. It doesn't compute. Like, Disney makes a lot more money than Bolin Media. Therefore, their producers are making products that generate a lot more money. Therefore, they are paid more. The NBA, by comparison, makes a lot more money than the WNBA. Therefore, their players are part of a product that generates a lot more money. Therefore, they are paid more. It's as simple as that. Like, it's pretty straightforward, simple economics. It has nothing to do with sexism. Like, all these people, men and women alike, virtue signaling that, like, oh, there we go again, the pay gap. It's like, well, no, she works for a significantly less valuable company than the NBA.
Yeah.
It's not apples to apples.
But you do make up for it in some ways. You do pay for my Fitbot subscription. We do get free Liquid IV, so you make up for it.
That's true, and I'm sure the Indiana Fever, do what they can to make up for the fact that she only makes $76K a year.
Yeah.
Which you would think for the most. I mean, if you're looking at it from the angle of she's the most famous female basketball player on the planet, potentially ever, then you would assume she makes millions of dollars.
Right.
Because you hear about professional athletes all the time. But that's not really how it works. And this age-old argument with like women's professional sports and how they don't make nearly the same amount of money, like it all comes down to advertising dollars. Like that's what it comes down to. You're going to hear a lot in the coming weeks about the NBA's new broadcast rights deal that they've just got done. That's for like $70+ billion with ESPN and Amazon and all these companies. They're able to get that money because of how many people tune in to watch each game. So if the same amount of people that watch NBA games tuned in to WNBA games to watch women's basketball, then the broadcast deal that the WNBA gets would be the same as the NBA, and the players would be entitled to X amount of that money. In the NBA, I believe it's 51%. So then WNBA players would make a shit ton of money. But if no one watches because no one cares, then they don't get a big broadcast deal and they don't have any money to spread around to the players. That's how it works. It's not like some sexist fucking scheme to keep female athletes down. And this is where it gets really complicated because like one of the arguments that you'll hear a lot of talking heads make is like, if women care so much about female athletes, then they should watch the WNBA to make sure that those girls get paid more. And I don't really have a counter to that. Like, that is part of the problem, is that people just don't care.
Well, I think more people care now than they did in the past. And I think like
more people care right now than ever, yeah.
Will change in the future because like they're getting more eyes on it. And like, again, like that's how you said, like, that's how you get more money in it.
Yes, which is why Caitlin Clark is so great for the game,
yes.
for the WNBA on the whole, right? So that's one side of it, the money. But the larger controversy around Caitlin Clark over the past couple of weeks has been that she's getting targeted by opposing players who are delivering hard fouls to like send a message, right? And people are all up in arms over this. Like it's just turned into a take tornado. You can go find a Caitlin Clark take from every possible angle online right now. Some of the dumbest shit you have ever heard in your life being said about Caitlin Clark. Some smart stuff, but a very small percentage. They've had like shows on ESPN derailing because the hosts like Stephen A. Smith is getting into arguments with these women.
They don't have anyone in those fields that like do a good job of covering. Like Stephen A. Smith, like probably just started watching WNBA this year and probably doesn't even watch it a whole lot. So like he's not the person you should go to for those kinds of takes.
His argument is that that's actually not true and that he's shown more love to women's sports than anyone over the past several years.
And
but I honestly don't know if that's true.
And then that girl said, then why have you been covering for like 3 years or whatever? And then Stephen A. didn't have anything to say, and then they had to go to the commercial.
No, it seemed like he was just upset that someone called him on his shit. But the point being, that show completely derailed talking about Caitlin Clark. Like, there's all this infighting happening because nobody. It's a sensitive topic because it involves several different layers of shit, and it's female sports, which is a thing that these guys like Stephen A. are not that used to talking about when it's controversial. Like, this is just not. It hasn't been a thing. Like before this, when is the last time a large, there was a mainstream WNBA presence? Like, I can't even recall.
I mean, no, I can't recall, but like there have been I've always heard like over the years star WNBA players that like have come and gone, but like they just don't get covered as much as like the NBA and other sports.
No, and I mean honestly, that's one of the things here that like what Candace Parker was a big one.
Like Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Skylar Diggins, like they
exist.
Yeah, they're out there. Again, they just don't get covered because like people didn't care.
They typically got coverage like at the beginning of their careers, or like for a few days if they made it to the finals or something. But then it fizzles out.
Yeah,
right. So it has been, frankly, like weird seeing how much the WNBA is getting talked about right now, and it's transformed online into a totally different horny discourse too. Have you seen on X like how many people are putting up like pictures of the hot WNBA players?
Oh yeah, I see pics of Cameron Brink all the time.
Constantly now, right? And then dudes are making all these jokes about like being like letting her be their sugar mama basically, where they're like, pick me up, mommy, like hold me. It's this,
I want uppies.
Yeah, I want uppies. It's turned into this weird joke that's like everywhere, and it's really, really funny. First of all, I do think I've like been kind of shocked. I'm like, I had no idea there were this many like really good looking women in the WNBA. But there's just this like, of course, on the internet, there's like a horny element. I mean, like the Marubo tribe in the Amazon is whacking off to WNBA players at this point. Like that's where we're at. So the part about Caitlin Clark getting bullied on the court has been so weird though, because it's like. The NBA has gotten softer and softer and barely allows players to touch each other anymore, and everyone complains about this. Like, oh, back in the 80s, you could, like, punch a dude in the dick, and it was just a regular common foul. But in women's basketball now, they're roughing each other up a little bit, and we're upset by this? Like, I don't get the logic. Like, which one is it? Do you want all the leagues to be as soft as Drake, or do you want hard-hitting physical competition, you absolute pussies?
Are you talking about the play from this weekend?
Like, where she got like hip checked?
Yeah. You think that was just like a basketball play?
No, but it was not that bad. Like, it's not like she got punched or elbowed. Does anybody remember what Ron Artest used to do to people? Like, that was nothing. It was not a big deal at all. I think it was kind of made to be exponentially worse because it looked like the girl said like, you bitch, right before she did it. But just in general, like, dudes in the NBA do shit like that to each other all the time. People just didn't like it because it's like Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's darling or whatever. And it has felt like, based on the media coverage of this whole situation with Caitlin Clark, that a lot of these women who are in the league are not necessarily jealous about the amount of attention that Caitlin Clark is getting, but it's rubbing them the wrong way that people are crediting her like she's the face of the WNBA when she just got there literally less than a month ago. So, and I get that.
But like she's not like, hey, I'm like the fucking white savior of the WNBA. She's just going out there and playing basketball. So it still comes off as like you being bitter and like taking out on her when it's the people talking about her.
But by comparison, this is where I'm like, I don't understand why that's surprising. The NBA is probably the most petty league in professional sports. There is petty bullshit that goes on every game, every year. There's more bitching and moaning and complaining. Like you're going to watch in the NBA Finals. Watch how often Luka complains to the referees. It's nonstop. Then when it's like in a female situation, everybody treats it differently, and it's strange. It's strange. If you thought Caitlin Clark was just going to show up to the WNBA and all these women were just going to be like, come on in, queen, do your thing. That's insane. Like, of course they're going to rough her up. That's how in any competitive environment, this is how it works. And if there's some newcomer who's getting all the shine and love and attention, you're going to go beat that newcomer's ass. Like that's just generally in sports how it's always worked. So
Okay, but you still don't need to like take cheap shots at it. Like if it's a
it wasn't. That's what I'm saying though. If somebody like went at one of her knees, or like put her in a position where she could have been badly injured, that's one thing. This was a fairly
she didn't even have the ball. They literally
nonchalant-
were about to pass the ball and she comes in and just checks her from behind. Like that's not a
It
basketball
was
play.
like a hip check. No, it's not a basketball play.
So like that's like we shouldn't be doing that. That's what I'm saying. Like shit like that. Like
No,
if you want
should
to
just get a flagrant foul or whatever and then move on. It was a flagrant one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, there's a difference between like fouling someone hard, like to send a message, and like actually like going for the ball and like fouling them hard instead of just like going after them because you just like don't like the attention she's getting, and that's what it
I don't
seemed
think
like.
that was why that happened though. Here's my point. That happens all the time in the NBA too. Guys are constantly pushing each other, hitting each other, non-basketball plays, freaking out, having little tiffs. It's just part of the sport. And with Caitlin Clark, it's getting blown up to be this like weird race, sex, fucking situation that just like it's bizarre. I don't know how to process it because it's like I thought we wanted to see the WNBA be more entertaining. Everybody always makes fun of it. Oh, it's just layups. Oh, these girls all suck. Nobody watches because it's a garbage product. Now we're getting something genuinely worth watching, and there's some violence occurring, and everybody's out. Everybody's upset about this. The thing about it that bothered me when you watch that video of her getting hip checked, no one on her team does anything in response. At all. And that's the one thing I have seen this take. Like, I agree with people who are saying that the real issue is her teammates not standing up for her. Where the fuck are they at? She's the golden goose. You got to protect her. It's insane that nobody was like, the second that girl hip checked her, somebody else should have been on top of that girl.
Yeah.
That's what bothered me. Not the hip check and the totally unnecessary non-basketball play is one thing. But that occurs. That's basketball. Shit happens. People get angry. Tempers flare. No one standing up for her. I was like, okay, this is sad. And they've shown several of these weird fouls or moments over the past few weeks. And the thing I keep looking for is for one of her teammates to stand up and like shove the girl who shoved her. And it never happens. I'm yet to see it happen. So I have no idea what's going on with the Indiana Fever. But like that should be the message in the locker room. Like if somebody hits her, if somebody hits Steph Curry, what happens? Draymond Green throws him in a fucking headlock, freaks out, tries to gouge somebody's eyes out, or kicks him in the dick, and gets suspended. But when Caitlin Clark's doing it, nobody does anything. It just turns into this weird ESPN online internet debate, and then everybody's saying they want uppies from other hotties in the league. So it's been a bizarre discourse that has blown up to a level that's like, first of all, I do think it is good for the league. Although it is a little toxic and weirdly dramatic at this point. I do think it's overall good. The more people talking about it, the better. And it's like almost like the no press is bad press thing for the WNBA. But yeah, this girl is transforming the face of the WNBA as we speak. She's got the Indiana Fever like flying private, and they're letting her get her shit rocked and just standing there. You got to fuck someone up. Has to be done. Somebody's got to get fucked up. And also, one of the other takes that was hilarious, Pat McAfee referred to Caitlin Clark as, quote, white bitch, end quote. Did you see this?
Yeah.
And then he had to apologize for it. And this is one of the few times that Pat has done something that was seen as like hashtag controversial, where I completely understood what he was trying to say.
Well, yeah, he was trying to like put a positive spin on it, but like you just didn't come off that way.
No, I mean it to a mainstream audience, you refer to her as a white bitch, and it sounds really, really bad. But he meant it in a respectful way, oddly enough, which is just funny because it's like it's tough to get that off across correctly on ESPN. But and now he won't talk about the WNBA anymore because he caught so much heat
Probably
for
not,
it.
no. Again, he didn't seem like the type of person that was well equipped to talk about the WNBA.
What man is? That's the part of the thing is like we don't know. This is the same shit every few years for one reason or another. There's this like discourse about the WNBA and how they don't get paid shit and how nobody cares and how the product is garbage. and they get, memed into the dirt. And this is the first time you see a spark that's like it could legitimately turn into something where these girls do end up getting paid more money longer term. But they're kind of mishandling it, it seems like. The media is mainly who's mishandling it, I feel like. This has not gone well so far. Also, they're just getting trashed most games. I think they're like...
Oh, yeah, no, they're still the worst team in the league.
They're like 2-9 or something, yeah.
And also, like, a lot of these rookies were just playing college basketball, like, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And then...
It's a big jump, dude.
And they played, like, 11 games in 20 days, and, like, they're not getting, like, any breaks. So, like, it's a rough adjustment for these rookies. And, like, Caitlin Clark just has some bad games, but, like, she's also still played well, and, like, she's on the worst team out there still. So it's not going to be all sunshines and rainbows for her.
No, it is not. What's the name of the Angel Reese that was on LSU?
Is another big name out there.
She got upset a couple of days ago and said, like, it's not just one person. Basically, people are also watching basketball because of me.
Yeah.
Which I understand her point, but similar to Pat McAfee, it's hard to make that point and have it come across correctly. You just sound bitter and jealous of all the attention that Caitlin Clark is getting at that point. And
she's the number one pick. Like, obviously, like every number one pick, NBA, WNBA, they're going to get more attention than everyone else.
Yeah, that's just kind of how it works. And I mean, it's like...
It'd be like getting upset if, like, everyone's talking about Wembanyama all season.
It's a good comparison because Caitlin Clark is the closest thing to a Victor Wembanyama or a LeBron James situation, like where somebody was coming into the league that was billed as like one of the greatest of all time before they even put a uniform on.
Yeah. And even like when LeBron came into the league, like his teammates didn't like him. They were like talking shit about him. There's like literally an interview with all the Cavs players on that team. They're like, yeah, he'll be like a nice little role player for us. Like, they're just like downplaying his game, and then like obviously he's been cooking dudes for 20 years and their kids. So
yeah, no, I mean it's again competitive environment. I've never seen anybody just get like handed the keys to the kingdom. You got to earn it. That's how it goes.
Like Caitlin Clark, she's not gonna back down from anyone either. Like she's not like, I think she welcomes the challenge, and like she has that dog in her, and like she wants to compete and all of that. So like I don't think it's like really getting to her as much as like, I don't know, people might think it is. Like she doesn't like, she just like goes out there and plays basketball. Like she doesn't,
I haven't seen her complaining or anything.
No,
like, she's just doing her thing.
Yeah,
which is again, it's like it feels like the piece of this that is getting weird is that the media is trying to drum up as much controversy as possible, and it's just spiraled into this weird toxic discourse about like women versus men, and it's been really, really entertaining to watch unfold. But I don't think in the way that the WNBA would prefer. Because every day I get online and there's some other fucking horrible take about Caitlin Clark that I'm just like, oh my God, what are we doing? Can't we just enjoy this moment? But that's not really the way it's unfolded so far. Anyway, best of luck to her. She seems great. And it's nice. Good for the WNBA that they've got some spark. Something going there, but also the Indiana Fever need to step up and start fucking checking people. They need an enforcer on that team that can bow up with anybody who pushes Caitlin Clark, because it's going to keep happening. That's the thing. There's going to be a worse foul than that one we saw, last week where she got hip checked. I guarantee it. It's inevitable, especially if they actually start winning some games. Before we leave today, House of the Dragon Season 2 starts June 16th. If you watched House of the Dragon in 2022 and you have forgotten everything that happened or the bulk of it, I recorded an hour-long recap and refresher with Barrett Dudley that is out now on the Oysters, Clams, and Cockles podcast, which you can find wherever you listen to RBP or on youtube.com/@OystersClamsCockles, where Mr. Kade Orris edited a whole bunch of different clips and photos of characters into the video so that you can like remember who is who, what is what, and what occurred over the course of season 1 so that you're ready to fully enjoy season 2 when it starts here in a couple weeks on June 16th. It's gonna be interesting. Season 1 was really, really complicated and covered like 15 years in time. And that's if you're not counting the like epilogue opening that they did. So season 2 is supposed to be more linear. There's not going to be like a whole bunch of time jumps, and it'll be like more traditional, like a linear television story, which I think gives them an opportunity to make it an even better show. But season 1 was a lot of fun. It was really good. And we're very excited for season 2 and very excited to be covering it on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. So if you're going to be watching House of the Dragon, make sure you're subscribed to OCC, as we call it, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, on all the major podcast platforms and on youtube.com/@OystersClamsCockles if you want to watch. But yeah, season 1 recap and refresher is out now. Took me an idiotic amount of time to put together. I literally rewatched the entire season, which is 10 hours of TV by itself, and then I think it took me like 8 hours to write the outline for the recap. So put a lot of work into it. I appreciate those of you who check it out. And that'll do it for today's show. I'll be back later this week with Kade and our ad-free premium episode of the week, which will be available exclusively on patreon.com/Ross Bolin podcast. 7-day free trial available now on patreon.com/Ross Bolin podcast, where you can check out the hundreds of exclusive ad-free episodes we have published there over the last several years. Enjoy that 7-day free trial, then stick around to support our show and be a part of making sure the show can go on. Also, please support our sponsors by hitting the links in the description of this episode and using our dedicated codes. That's how we pay the bills here at Bolin Media. You can find the links to today's sponsor in the description below today's episode. Formula Bone, still going strong, where Jared J-Bone Borislow, this week he's got out his preview for the Canadian Grand Prix, which is occurring this upcoming weekend. Go check out Formula Bone, @Formula Bone, on all the social media platforms, youtube.com/@Formula Bone, to watch full-length episodes, and of course, Formula Bone, also available on podcast platforms, where Jared J-Bone Borislow is bringing you everything you need to know about every race this F1 season. If you're a Houston sports fan, check out Banging the Can. And follow me on social media at WR Bolin on X and Instagram. Mr. Orris, where can the people follow you?
You can follow me on all the social media platforms at Kade Orris. That's KADEORRIS.
This episode of RBP is presented by Bolin Media. Video of today's show was produced by Kade Orris. Go to youtube.com/@the Ross Bolin podcast for full video of today's episode. Until next time, remember, you are not alone. Peace be with you, and also with you.